Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. Last time
on Critical Hit.
Nicholas Helias, welcome. You see Herbert West. You are welcome anytime. And then all you hear is this loud, menacing laughter. It is a bright morning over the Section M compound, and you've all had kind of a bad night of dreams. How many of you were able to go back to sleep easily after your dreams that you had?
Not me.
Okay, not Matthew.
Not easily, and I wanted to get up early.
Okay, so no for Blisco, no for Doc. Why don't you both give yourself a fatigue?
No. Where do we put our fatigues?
So on your stress track, you simply take one of the open spaces and just put an F there. It's a temporary reduction of your stress. What about you, Rodrigo? Were you able to go back to sleep?
Let's say no out of solidarity.
Okay. And Brian, what about Valentino?
Well, no, I feel like Yeah. Honestly, I kind of figured, I really don't know that he was too terribly shaken up by it.
Okay.
I sat up a little bit, got a smoke, and probably went back to bed. Maybe actually kicked his shoes off this time.
Somebody spoke. The smooth, soothing Chesterfield. Tobacco.
Long in the leaf and short in the can.
All right, so Carlos, if you would also take a fatigue.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so it is now the next morning. The sun is shining over the frost-covered fields of Section M. If you look out your window, you can see that people are already moving about the grounds. You can still, at least one of you who saw it before, I forget who, but you can see this weird stone arch circle thing hanging out over by one of the hills. And from this distance up on the second floor that you're on, you can see, cables coming off of it and going over to, some kind of a small control shed of some kind. You see some soldiers again up practicing their marching, because that's what soldiers need to do. At least a couple of you shudder at the thought of getting up early to do marchings across the fields. And you're able to go downstairs to the main dining library area, wherever you choose to do it. But as you enter that area, you notice that there is a lot of commotion going on. People seem very upset. You see, a stretcher in the hallway going outside, and it's got a body on it that is covered with a sheet.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Is it unattended?
It is, and there's enough people around that, it's nobody's, holding on to it or anything, but, there's people running around, but no one's at the body at the moment.
I will catch a library nerd.
No, yes, sir. May I help you?
Do you know what happened here?
Oh, it's terrible news. Terrible news. We're all so shocked about this. But overnight, Admiral Graham Grimmel passed away in his sleep. And for those of you who don't remember, Admiral Graham Grimmel was the person that was at the dinner the night before with all of you. Maybe one of you may also remember Admiral Graham Grimmel from somewhere else, but that is what this nerdy personage is saying to you. We're all very troubled by the news.
Yeah, I
He
bet.
died so unexpectedly, and he was healthy too.
Do you know how old he was?
Oh, he probably was no older than 35. I know that's getting up there in age, but 35 for a Navy man is no reason to kick off like that.
Sure.
Indeed.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
I release him back into the library.
And he scuttles off into the library. The brigadier turns the corner. Oh, boys, good morning. I see you've discovered the admiral here. Sad news. Terribly, terribly troubling news.
Yeah. Natural
What
causes.
We suspect he just came to wake him up. He didn't answer the call at the morning horn, and we had to have someone go into his room, and we found him dead in bed. It looks like he passed away in his sleep.
Cardiac arrest?
We don't know. We have had the doctors look at it, but we presume it's of natural causes.
You should have let Doc here to have a look at him.
And he wags his finger at you. Oh, it's very clever of you. And then at that moment, you see Alex Towton come in. And he is still impeccably dressed, but his hair is all askew, and he seems incredibly, incredibly tired. Like he has been up all night, kind of tired.
Mhm.
Oh,
This is
yes.
the-
Good morning. Yes, this is the head of Section M. Oh, good morning, everyone. Yes, troubling times indeed. Nothing we can do about this now. Let's retire to the library.
All right.
And so you guys go into the library, and sure enough, there's Sally poring over maps and books with Antoine and Pontus, and she sees you all come in. Oh, good morning. I see you must still be on American time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Having to readjust.
Mm-hmm. Well, can you come over here, please? We're trying to figure out the best way to get you into the Netherlands, into Amsterdam. We were planning on flying you directly, but as the Nazis start to move across the borders, things might be a little bit more complicated than we thought.
Are they occupied?
Oh, no, but we are worried that if we fly you in too close, that you may be shot at.
Look at the map.
Yeah, you're looking at the map, and it does look like if you are able to swing around over, I'm going to guess one of the Scandinavian nations, if you come in from the north, either, I don't know whether it's Sweden or Norway, it's one of those two. You people can look it up. I'm a product of the American education system. And it looks like you could probably land in Amsterdam. It's probably going to be a little bumpy or rough coming in that way, but it does look like you should be able to make a landing okay. The problem is, boys, though, you're going to have to go in through, there's no military base that we can land you at. You're going to have to land at the airfield outside of Amsterdam, which means that, you're going to have to go through customs. People are going to ask questions.
Well, we have a cover story.
Yes, good. And you've got all your papers and everyone knows your parts. And she stops and stares at you, Blisco.
Yeah, Rob doesn't remember, but Blisco does. The
Surveyor.
friggin'
You're the
survey.
surveyor.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. All right. And this is probably going to be a very fast get in, find the item and get out kind of mission. Do you know exactly what you're looking for?
No, we were hoping for maybe a little bit more information. We know that there are, we've narrowed it down to porn
Mm-hmm.
And we know that it is described as a flute,
Okay.
but whether
Musical
that
instrument.
means literal musical instrument or
Okay.
keep in mind, language can drift over 600 years.
Yes. Okay, and it's found on a ship. Okay. All right. Well, if you've got narrowed down to horn and you know that you're looking for some kind of a musical instrument, that's probably about as good as we're going to get. Do you guys have any questions for us? And you see the brigadier reach into his pocket and he pulls out an envelope. Arbogast, here's 200 monies for you to add to your list. Please don't spend it all in one place.
This is in addition to the monies we already had.
No. Well, yeah, from what we talked about earlier, this is the monies.
Okay.
I have a question, and it may not seem pertinent.
Everybody just kind of looks at you.
Did anyone have disturbing dreams last evening?
Everybody just kind of stops and looks at you. And
Perhaps
it's like,
nightmare.
what kind of dreams are you talking about? Nightmares.
Nightmares.
I think we've all been under a lot of stress lately. I am sure that we've all had horrible visions in our sleep.
So you had a nightmare?
I did have a nightmare. Horrible creatures coming at me from all sides.
Yeah, I did too.
You had dreams of horrible creatures attacking you in the night?
Philosophically, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Although, if everybody had a nightmare.
The brigadier is just kind of looking at everyone, and he's like, no, I've not had any nightmares. In fact, ever since France, I've slept like a baby. Every night.
Are you still wearing Floyd's necklace?
Oh, yes, of course. I never take it off.
Okay. Well, you're probably protected from the nightmares then.
Well, I'm going to keep this on. I'm not going to test your hypothesis.
Good. No, that's
probably
good.
For the best.
I'd have you guys. I'll look at the other two that haven't said anything. Did you guys have nightmares too?
Blisco's been nodding along this entire time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe, even if it turns out to be some sort of unknown heart condition, maybe the death of what was his title? Sergeant?
Admiral Graham Grimmel.
Graham Grimmel.
Maybe the death of Admiral Grimmel was not natural causes after all.
And you see Towton and Sally exchange glances with one another. And Sally Armitage responds with, our spy investigator is in Kentucky. She's not available at the moment. And then Towton is like, maybe we can ask the White Witch to look into this. Perhaps it's worth investigating. Do you boys have any experience with dealing with nightmares like this and causes for it?
I don't.
I've had this nightmare many times, but the cause was known. It's not uncommon, but this was unusual.
Can you extrapolate? You've had this exact same dream before, you say?
I've had this, not exactly, but it is a common nightmare. For me, this felt more fresh, intense than it should have.
And Sally's like, well, I sleep with wards around my bed, so I did not have any bad dreams either.
It may be worth seeing if you can ward the beds of the other personnel then.
Ward the building.
We might try. Yes, we might try.
Well, we'll leave that to you guys. And we'll try to call you once we get settled in and see if any new information has turned up about the artifact we're looking for.
Okay. Yes, that sounds excellent. You boys should make it to the airfield. There is now keep in mind, it's a military base, but we do have a civilian plane that you will be flying in. So keep in mind that, according to some people, you might be considered spies on site when the plane lands. I mean, you're already spies, but just letting you be aware of the seriousness of your mission.
Sure.
Okay, well, good luck. And Sally kind of, jerks her head off to like the get out of here kind of thing.
We'll get out of there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you guys heading to the airfield immediately, or is there anything else that you were wanting to do or talk about?
No, once we have if we already have our gear, we can probably head straight there.
Okay. Yeah, your bags are already packed for you and sitting down there at the front door. As you head out, you notice that there are. Go ahead, Blisco.
Blisco explicitly wanted to get up early so he could go talk to the medical staff about the fact that what looked like absolutely amazing roast beef tasted terrible.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and you're going to go talk to the medical staff, or you're going to talk to the cook staff.
The guys who were asking me about if the ghoul stuff was giving me.
Oh, Pontus and Antoine. Okay. All right. Yeah, they are looking at you curiously.
Yeah, so I'll explain what happened during dinner, where everything smelled good, everything looked good, but it just didn't. Like, it felt burnt, and it was very blatantly not.
Okay. The minute that you say that, they rush you off into an exam room inside the building. It's on a lower level, below ground, and they start taking your blood pressure. They're listening to your heart. They put you under some bright lights, and they're looking at how your eyes dilate or don't dilate. They ask you questions like, are you having any sensitivity to the light? Is your stomach, are you having hunger pangs beyond the normal this morning?
Nothing outside of what I'm usually.
Pontus hands you a banana. Eat this.
Eat it.
And it tastes like a banana.
Delicious.
Antoine hands you a carrot. Now this.
Crunch, crunch.
Ooh, yummy carrot. And they're kind of looking at each other, and Pontus runs off, and Antoine is left with you, and he's like, are you having any ill thoughts towards your friends? Any thoughts of self-harm or anything like that?
No.
Have you had any visions of other places? Places you've never been before?
The dream had me in a cornfield, right?
No, you were in a steppe, like a Russian steppe kind of area.
Okay.
Big grasslands area. Yeah.
Explain the dream.
Now, when you explain the dream, what do you explain in the dream? Just the location, or do you tell them everything about the dream?
I'll start with the location, and if they press for any more questions, like, well, I had a dream about being in and Blisco probably doesn't know what the Russian steppes are, so he'll just describe
just
them.
like a big open grasslands with mountains around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Antoine seems very interested about that, but before he can ask any other questions, Pontus comes bursting back in with a plate full of food, a tray full of food. And he's like, here, please, try this bagel. And the bagel tastes fine. And now here, try this orange. And the orange, again, tastes fine. And, try an egg. Here's an egg freshly made. And the egg tastes a little weird, but then again, I don't know how Blisco likes his egg, but this is like a very kind of runny egg. And so it's a little weird just in its texture.
Tastes fine. Like, it was only the meat last night.
And then
all of the veggies tasted amazing.
Okay. And then he pulls up a piece of ham and gives it to you. And you can tell that the ham is cooked and salted and everything. But when you bite it, it just tastes like somebody seared it like to a crisp. Like it dropped in the fire and somebody left it there for 10 minutes and then realized that it was in the fire and pulled it out and decided to brush off any ash and serve it.
God, who cooked this? It's so overdone.
Really? And Pontus looks at Antoine, and Antoine takes a piece of the ham and bites it and eats it. He goes, "Oh no, this is fine. There's nothing wrong." And then, Pontus starts scribbling notes in here. Okay. It only seems to be meat, although technically an egg should be also a little off for you, but interesting. But everything else is fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you
the
think
egg wasn't cooked how I like it, but
okay? And then Pontus leans in a little close to you and goes, "I know the English don't know how to prepare their meat very well. Do you think it just could be your sensitive stomach?"
no, that roast beef looked amazing.
It was good. Okay, well, and he holds his arm up to you and kind of waves it in your face. Why don't you roll me a will plus resilience D1?
Oh, that sounds great. Oh, hey, this is actually not that bad anymore. Woo!
Hey, 2 successes. Very good. Yeah, he waves his arm in front of you, and you can smell like a fresh soap on his skin. But yeah, there's nothing else going on. And do you want to take a bite of me?
No?
Okay. What I would like for you to do, and he reaches around and pulls out a little notebook, and he gives it to you and a little pencil. Every time that you're eating, when the food doesn't taste the way it should, please mark it down. And if you happen to have the same food on 2 different occasions, and it tastes funny then, even worse or better, also make note of that. For example, if you had another piece of ham tomorrow, and it tastes worse than the ham tastes right now, please make note of that.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. And it's and then he's like, "Okay, yes. I think that's yes. Do you mind if I do one more experiment?"
No?
And he rushes off, and about 5 minutes later he comes back, and he's got some hamburger, and you can tell that it's barely got any kind of crust on it. It is basically barely cooked, and it's very bloody, but it does have a little bit of cook to it. I know this looks unappealing, but would you take a bite of this and tell me what you think?
Yeah.
And you bite into it, and this tastes like undercooked meat.
Hmm.
It tastes like it looks.
No, this is undercooked. This is,
All right. Well, so you don't want the raw meat, and slightly and undercooked meat is still unappealing to you. So we are somewhere between undercooked and cooked food is where the transition zone is taking place. So I think we have scientifically, and Antoine nods at him. I think scientifically we have kind of a point of reference now. But if you would just keep track of your notes, that would be very helpful for us.
I can do that.
Okay. Was there anything else that you saw in these in this dream in this land that you had in your dreams?
I'll describe the rest of the dream.
And as soon as you start talking about the ghouls attacking Admiral Graham Grimmel and a large man who's kind of balding and Sir Towton, and there were these guys in red robes and everything. They seem very interested in this part of your dream. Oh, really? We were just talking about something bad happening in the dreams. This is very important. And they are rapidly scribbling things down. What else did you see in the dreams?
Rattle off anything that Blisco remembers. Was there... Rob remembers thinking it was a reference to the King in Yellow.
Yep. You did see somebody high up atop a mountain in yellow robes saying, you're welcome anytime.
Okay, then yeah, they explain that part. Like that seems the
Okay.
most.
And they kind of look at each other. Ah, the Yellow King. That's troubling. Have you ever heard of the Yellow King, Blisco?
No, can't say that I have.
Well, if you ever come across the play, stay away from it and do not read it. It's a very dangerous book. We have a copy here on the estate, but it's kept under strong lock and key. So you should stay away from that, if at all possible. The ghouls, that's troubling, especially in light of your bite and your changing taste in meat. That's also troubling. I don't know who the other man is at the moment. Yes, okay. Well, we're gonna make note of all of this, and also in your notebook, if you have any other strange dreams, urges, anything like that, please make sure that you write it down.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for coming to us with this information. It's very useful.
Seemed like it might be pertinent.
Good. And if you would, Blisco, are you watching out for Valentino on these missions?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
he's
good.
pretty good at taking care of himself, but yeah.
Yes, I know he is, but I worry about him so. But do keep an eye out for him, please, for me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And they kind of turn away from you, and they're busy, talking with each other, as science nerds often do.
Speaking with each other. What a bunch of dweebs.
I know, dorks. Anything else, Blisco?
No, that's why he wanted to be up early.
Okay, all right. All right. So you guys have all your bags there at the front door, loading up, and you head outside. And sure enough, the Arthur Morris is there with the limo. Oh, good morning, gentlemen. I will take you over to the airfield for your flight. And of course, the grounds are just teeming with people, even with the frost on the ground as we're moving into the start of spring. There's grounds people trimming back trees and cutting things, and a lot of them are, they're bundled up in warm weather gear. Some of them have coats on top of coats. There's one woman who's got like a scarf wrapped around the top of her head, tucked under her chin and down into her overcoat. There's one man that has what looks like a pair of big rubber boots on under, over his pant legs, and he's got some kind of a overall apron on, and then over that is a coat, and then he has kind of a I don't know how to describe the cap, kind of like a cap you would see a train engineer wear. Those like schooner type hats. Not a baseball cap, but kind of like that. You see another man stooped over. It looks like rose bushes, and he's cutting back the rose bushes, getting ready for spring. And he's got a like a red jacket with a hood. The hood is pulled up over the top of his head, and he's got a brown um, um, coat over the top of that. And he's busy cutting as you all step out. You see people looking at you and moving out of the way, giving you all plenty of space as they go about their business for the day. You guys are able to get into the car, and Morris drives you to the airport.
I'm going to tell the group about visiting the doctor this morning.
Is there anything that you withhold, or do you tell them everything, or?
Nope, everything.
Okay. You even tell them about your dream?
Yeah, only if they specifically ask about the dream. Like, we talked about the dreams during the we already had a conversation about the dreams. So like I will mention that my dreams had ghouls, and the doctors were worried about that specifically, and then talk about the book and whatnot, but like, or the play, but not like major detail or any details about the dreams.
Did any of it feel familiar? Was it all new and strange, or were there elements that felt like I don't know how to say this other than to sound crazy. That felt like someone was tapping into your worst nightmares.
Not specifically. I mean, not being able to help people's not great, but
Sure. Okay. So, anything else that you wanted to ask Doc to Blisco?
Not really. I may, posit to the others whether they felt it was something personal and such. Trying not to actually say the crazy thing that sounds crazy, but it's totally somebody reading my mind. Some telepath reading my terrible fears and such.
I mean, it's possible. We don't know how that works. For all we know, there's just a switch or a bunch of chemicals that can just be released, and then you just have a nightmare and your brain fills in the rest, right?
Maybe. I've had this particular dream so many times that it hasn't carried this kind of trauma since the events were fresh.
Uh-huh. Is it about the stuff you did at Arkham?
It's about the reasons for the stuff I did at Arkham.
Well, maybe working with Sally is bringing some of that back up. Also magic, but
Could be.
maybe the emotional response is not so much because somebody caused us all to have nightmares, but because, like, did you think you were ever going to talk to her again? And now you're working together? That's got to be weird.
I just worry with the death of the Admiral that somehow this is related to more than Albert, to Sally being. It seems too coincidental.
Absolutely.
We know that a fear response can trigger cardiac.
Yeah. I said as much earlier. I'm with you on this one. I think here's what I think. Somebody has some sort of magic spell and they can make people have nightmares, and they just like threw a rock into the pond and hope for the best, and they happen to hit a pretty big fish. Maybe somebody did like a psychic attack on that guy and we just caught the spillage of it.
I'm just worried that it's going to be another one of those things where something terrible happens and we all go, that was terrible. What do we do? Oh no, the next 5 things have fallen. Oh, okay.
Dutch will take, I'm guessing Dutch is dressed like a civilian now. He's like,
yep, everybody's dressed as civilians.
We're all civilians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how is everybody dressed? We haven't done a description of your characters in a while, so why don't we start with you, Carlos?
Okay. Carlos Dutch Arbogast is a young man. He is in his 20s. He has olive skin on the lighter side, black hair. I forget what color eyes I said he had, which is a classic critical hit move.
They're either blue or green, depending on how the light hits him.
Yeah. Let's say they're black, like very dark brown. He is, in shape, but he's not like super buff. Right now, he is wearing a nice, let's say, gray suit in a modern but not too outlandish cut. Same thing with a white button-up shirt. And he's got a tie somewhere that he's probably going to throw on when they get ready to go. But he also has with him, an overcoat that is like a shade of brown that goes well with that suit, like a trench coat, and a scarf, which during this conversation, he's been like tucking into his shirt and wrapping it around his mouth so that only his like nose pokes out.
Mm.
And let's say he has a hat too, and he's like adjusting that.
Mm.
He's making a pulp reference,
Yes. Very
and
telling.
he doesn't know if Doc's gonna get it, but
Okay.
that's kind of what he's doing right now.
All right. And Doc, speaking of you, what do you look like, and how are you dressed on this fine? I'm
Just
guessing March
fine.
morning.
Doctor, well, you can't really call him a doctor. Let's just say Nicholas is not a skinny, scary type of person, but is kind of a skinny man-ish in sort of a Ray Bolger kind of way. He does at this point look clean shaven because it's early in the morning. His skin is actually relatively similar to Carlos's in that now that I know I can say olive, it is olive, perhaps maybe a shade different, brownish hair, brownish eyes. He is currently wearing striped linen pants. He's got a white shirt and a waistcoat over it. He's got a kind of out of fashion cravat tie, but it's one that he remembers how to tie and knows how to tie from when he was a kid.
Yeah, you probably
And
found it in the closet there at the mansion.
yeah, it was. There's clearly something there, and he also found a coat that's not exactly ugly, but not exactly fashionable either. It won't necessarily be something where you stand out, but if we were amongst, highfalutin people, they might wonder where he got the strange, hideous coat. But it's not
It's
exactly.
actually it's actually a little large on you.
Oh
So
yes,
it looks you kind of get lost in that overcoat.
which does kind of add to a general sort of hauntedness that comes with the interactions with Nicholas Elias.
Mm-hmm.
And he, as Stephen mentioned, he does look like hell this morning, or around his
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
His eyes are dark
Yeah.
and set and all.
Yeah. And in the time that it took you to describe your character, you now have a 5 o'clock shadow.
Ah, just a
Yeah.
little blue,
Weird.
just a little
I know,
blue shadow.
right? Yeah. Blisco.
Young 20s kid, average height, clearly grew up on a farm. Uh, hair about as scraggly as the military will let him have it. Dressed in what would be the most contemporarily casual dress of the time.
All right. So pants and a shirt and
Yeah,
probably one of those snap brim caps.
yeah. Are we
I was
moving into
picturing
winter?
Blisco as
We're moving out of
suspenders.
winter, right?
Yeah, we're moving out of winter, but it's a frosty morning.
So yeah, sizable coat, but nothing ostentatious. Most of it looks like he just took whatever was handed to him, as opposed to thinking about how he dress himself at all.
Okay, great. And finally, we have Valentino.
Valentino, he's a pretty fair-skinned fellow with sharp features, blonde hair, slick black, and piercing blue eyes. He's wearing like a mid-length, single-breasted jacket that's probably not buttoned up, just open underneath. We'll say cream-colored, lighter sweater, and dark pants and some brown shoes that probably could go for a good polish, but hasn't bothered in a while. And yep.
Okay, very good. And you've heard the planes flying over the Section M, so it doesn't take very long to get to the airfield. You get checked in, and sure enough, there is a small passenger plane on the airfield, fueled up and ready to take you up to the skies. The captain is there, the co-pilot is there. They welcome you aboard. This is a twin-engine aircraft. You get in, the seats are comfortable, and there's something to drink if you are thirsty. The stewardess is there ready to accommodate you. There's a copy of the London Times sitting on one of the chairs, and the headline is basically like, Chamberlain has no bite. Churchill makes his move. And on the cover, on the front page above the fold, you can see a picture of both Neville Chamberlain and a man who you presume is this guy named Churchill, Winston Churchill. He's kind of a heavy-set man, and he's balding, and he has this very kind of determined look as he's looks smugly at the camera with a cigar in his mouth.
Looks like
Blisco,
every newborn baby I've ever seen.
Blisco, you recognize this person.
That's the guy from my dream.
Wait, what?
Wait, which one?
This one, Churchill?
And he was doing what in your dream?
Getting eaten.
Sounds bad.
And the Admiral was also being eaten?
Which one of the three was being eaten?
The Admiral was being eaten. Churchill and Towton were fighting off the ghouls.
Now, excuse me, the Admiral was being eaten. They were fighting off the ghouls, but it didn't look particularly promising for them.
There was Churchill and who else fighting off the ghouls?
Alec Towton, the head of Section M.
Oh, okay.
That corroborates what he had said during your meetings in the morning.
Okay. Let's as soon as we get to the airfield, Blisco, why don't you place a call back to their HQ and tell them that you've realized now that one of the people you saw was, and he looks at the paper, Winston Churchill.
Can do.
Okay. And the stewardess asks you all to take your seats, and the engines start up, and you taxi down the runway, and up into the air you go, and not about an hour later, you are flying in from the north and landing outside of Amsterdam. It's not a super long flight, but you can tell that there are times where the plane seems to, and you would know this, Blisco, since you love flying, the best way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. But you know that there are several times where the plane seems to head in an odd direction, almost like it's trying to avoid certain things or certain areas in the sky. But you guys, when you look out, you really don't see anything out there. It's kind of overcast here and there. You fly through some clouds, but otherwise it seems like a relatively pleasant trip. And then you land on an airfield outside of Amsterdam. This is the primary airfield. And you guys are allowed to exit the plane and head towards customs.
Well, those DC-3s, those fly really clean.
What does customs look like?
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm flying back
No,
to America.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding this time.
Okay.
Hello, gentlemen. Passports, please.
Passport.
You hand over the passports. Americans. Okay. What is the purpose of your visit to our country?
Business.
Business. And where will you be heading specifically? Are you staying in Amsterdam, or are you going somewhere else?
Yes, we're having a couple meetings in Amsterdam, and then things go well. We might survey a couple factories outside of Amsterdam.
Oh, okay. Where specifically?
Well, I don't know yet. I need to talk to the people that we're going to be interviewing.
That's troubling. And he raises his hand and brings his manager over. Yes, sir. It's fine that you're doing business here, although these are troubling times, and unfortunately, we are having to increase our restrictions on travel. So, as we fill out this paperwork, the paperwork will allow you to travel to specific locations, and we'll need to know the locations that you're going to in order to allow you to not be shot, get arrested. Do you get the idea?
Yeah, sure. I can't get like a radius around Amsterdam.
No.
Okay. Well, is there a way to, within the country, to apply for other places to go to?
You would have to go to different terminals, train stations, etc. It may slow your progress.
I mean, that's fine. I understand. Things are difficult right now. Some business deals we have just paused right now, but I felt like this one couldn't wait. So that's fine. Just set us up for Amsterdam, and we'll figure it out from there.
Okay, very well. And he turns it back over to the other guy, and he pulls out a little stamp and stamps all your passports. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Enjoy your stay, gentlemen. I would probably try and make it brief if I were you.
We'll be quick. Thank you.
Yeah?
Oh.
And he lets you pass through.
Okay.
Was there a reason
Alright.
why you were not, why you guys are making yourself very suspicious?
Were we being suspicious?
I mean, they asked for your destinations, and you were like, no, we're not going to tell you our destinations.
We didn't know.
Okay. All
Literally
right.
don't know. our
Yeah, I said
destination.
Amsterdam, then I lied about there being a factory. And when they're like, where exactly is this factory? I said, well, I don't know. They haven't told me yet.
Okay. All
Because
right.
I lied.
All right.
So, no, we weren't trying to make ourselves suspicious.
Welcome to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, is it 1940?
1940, March of 1940. Neville Chamberlain is still prime minister.
Let's
Okay,
assume we all know who Neville
let's
Chamberlain is.
make our
think-
way to. Oh, go ahead.
So, would you all like to roll a history check to find out if you know who Neville Chamberlain is? I mean, we could do that.
He was the kid who was not Harry, but
So
also
everybody roll a insight plus academia, please.
All right.
D1.
Oh man, I'm good at these.
I would hope so.
Nope.
Blisco 0 successes. Yeah, you don't know. You saw that newspaper, and all you recognized and honed in on was the overweight gentleman with the cigar that you recognized. Nicholas Helias knows that Neville Chamberlain is the prime minister of England at this time. You also know that he has come under fire under the last couple of years because he basically kind of rolled over for Hitler and allowed, got a promise from Hitler that he wouldn't invade. And then sure enough, Hitler turns around and invades all these countries, even though he said he wouldn't. So a lot of people are relatively upset at Neville Chamberlain during this time period because of his weak attitude towards Hitler. Same way with you, Dutch. You know this guy from your travels in Europe. You were around, in Spain and Portugal during the time when Chamberlain was making his visits to Germany. So you're very familiar with this. And then, why do you? Oh, because you only rolled one, and then you have
A complication.
a complication as well. The thing is, your complication is something happened when you were in Spain fighting with the resistance there. Something happened to you there, and you don't want to talk about Neville Chamberlain at all.
Okay.
And then let's see, Brian. Oh, you also had a success and a complication.
Complication, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like everybody but Blisco is pretty knowing
Has
on
strong opinions on.
yes, on what's going on. Your complication is you don't like Neville Chamberlain because of a derogatory term that he uses towards homosexuals in the 1930s. And the term that he used was glamour boys. And you don't, that is a complication there as well. So you also have some negative, strong feelings towards Chamberlain.
Fair enough.
Right. Yeah. Welcome to Amsterdam.
I look for a hotel and or
Oh,
taxi.
hello.
Ah,
I know,
Switch to a
sir.
red light.
It's so early in the morning. I'm so tired of this too. But it's a
Okay.
living.
yeah, you doing all right?
The Nazis are going into France, and I'm afraid that they will be taking us over very soon.
Hmm.
If it wasn't for
Well-
these funny comic strips, I would fall into depths of despair.
Well, you hang in there, okay?
I will. Thank you, sir. Here's your
Nice.
room.
Thank you. We'll go into the room.
Yeah, it's a nice couple of rooms. Nice couple of rooms you got there.
Shame if something was to happen to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will maintain cover by having. Actually, I guess I don't know which would be better for cover. I guess technically, Doc is my valet, so
Correct.
maybe he'd be in the room with me.
Yeah.
Which always
Or,
explains
your a business compatriot Valentino might be. Who knows?
Yeah,
It's up to
that's
you.
what that was. My first thought was classism.
Right.
My second thought was, what if this upper crust jerk that I'm pretending to be and isn't actually who I am wants a sandwich in the middle of the night?
There you go. All right. So you and Doc are in the same room together. Blisco and Valentino are in the adjoining room together.
Okay. Let's meet up as soon as everybody settles in.
Yeah. And you meet.
Okay. All right. Well, already we are seeing that it's going to be difficult moving around the country. We do have a cover story, so that helps. But when push comes to shove, we might have to break some Netherlands laws to be able to accomplish what we need to accomplish. I mean, we destroyed a museum in Italy, so
It's true. And I mean, our laws in the Netherlands really laws at all?
Yes.
we can try and head straight for Horn and see what we can find out there. Or I suppose we can potentially hang out in Amsterdam for the day and see if there's anything else going on that we need to know, right? Again, already we found out that there's all these travel restrictions. Maybe we should sniff around and see if there's anything else going on. Amsterdam is the capital, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So people here would know. So we might want to figure out if there's anything else like checkpoints or if they're like doing anything with the trains and then afterwards go to Horn, or we can just go straight there. What do you guys think?
Did we have any specific itinerary that we told anybody along the way that we were going to be doing? Like there's not somebody who's expecting us to go and have a specific meeting with somebody, and if we don't leave the hotel, they'll be like, hey, now wait a minute.
I suppose that's possible. We did tell them that we were going to have meetings, but I try to be vague about when those meetings would be. And also, we're going to leave the hotel. If we stay in Amsterdam, we're not going to stay in the hotel. We're going to leave and do some investigating.
That's a weird word for hashish.
I don't think Amsterdam is the at this point in history is
the vice capital of the world. It is.
Yeah.
So technically, all recreational drugs are illegal in the Netherlands, even cannabis, but small quantities are tolerated depending on what you're doing with them. So,
there you go. I mean, that's another good point. Is that Amsterdam is not the recreational drug place that it is now, but also most recreational drugs are not largely illegal.
Yeah.
So it's like if you really want to find some opium, you can probably track some down, and it's probably not that big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Has the reefer madness kicked in Europe?
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure it has. It has in the U.S. So, yeah. You also know that in the Netherlands, it is it's illegal to make chalk art on public sidewalks.
Okay.
You know that if you trap somebody in your house or your apartment or your hotel room because they're trying to burgle you, but if you lock them in there and detain them until the police arrive, you could be charged with detaining that person of their liberty.
Right.
And
Okay.
so you need to warn the burglar ahead of time if you're going to block them.
Right. And also,
You also know that, if you have a baseball bat or other implement in the room, and you use it to subdue the person that is burglaring you, then you could also wind up in jail for assault, premeditated assault.
Okay, good to know.
On the plus side, it's not illegal to escape prison.
oh,
Okay.
good. We'll probably need to know that.
Yeah,
God, I hope we don't need to know that.
We're gonna.
I mean,
need
you
to
never
know
know.
that.
Okay. That'd be funny if it was illegal to break somebody out of prison, but not to escape.
Right.
It says it's not illegal to escape prison as long as no crimes were committed in the process. The judiciary system cannot give the escapee extra time. Keep in mind that breaking a window already counts as vandalism, so the
Sure,
criminal
sure.
must be a true escape artist. This is from a website that says 14 weird Dutch laws that exist today.
Nice. It's good to know. All right. What do you guys think? Head straight there, or try to take the temperature of the
I
country?
say head straight there because that will actually probably give us an idea of the temperature.
Sure.
That
Sounds
seems reasonable.
Okay. In that case, let's get something to eat, and then we'll try to catch a train
Okay.
out of here.
So you go down to, you find a local cafe, little sidewalk cafe. You do notice that there does appear to be a little bit more of a police presence
Mhm.
on the streets than what you normally would find in a community like this or a city like this. You also notice that people seem to be a little bit more in a hurry to get from point A to point B than what they maybe are used to. But you do still find some people just sitting around drinking coffee. You don't see anybody smoking tobacco because that's illegal to smoke in all public places. And you do find a little cafe that you can duck into and get something to eat. What is everyone eating?
Oh, just like a ham sandwich.
Okay, ham sandwich for you. What about Doc?
Is there anything that is the go-to food that you eat when you're in Holland?
I'm sure something fish.
Mm. Pickled tulips. I don't know. The catch of the day.
Um, let's see what they have here. These are all typical things. Coffee. Let's see. Sausage rolls. There's some sausage rolls. You want a sausage roll?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Carlos?
Yeah, a sausage roll, some coffee, and maybe a pastry if they have it.
Oh yeah, they have some good pastries here.
Yeah.
And finally,
Right.
what about you? What about you, Blisco?
Sausage roll, pastry.
Okay.
5 cups of coffee.
Sure. Okay, so the waitress goes away, and she comes back a few minutes later. And as she's setting all the food out on the table for you, everybody can roll me an observation plus insight check. D1.
Nope, there's food involved.
Yeah, there's food involved, Blisco, and with your concern about the meat product, you don't notice anything. Doc, let's see, Valentino and Carlos, you all notice right away that she has these black uh, sores, marks all up her hand and up her arm, disappearing under her sleeve. She
Her
doesn't
serving
seem
arm.
both arms, both of her serving arms. You all recognize this mark from before when you were in Belgium.
I'll look at Valentino and see if he notices it.
Yeah, I think I lost my appetite.
Let's go reach across the table and grab whatever was put in front of him.
Okay. Why don't you roll a will plus resilience, please?
Oh no.
Three
Oh,
successes?
3 successes. Very good. Yeah, it kinda, for whatever reason, these, you can tell that this sausage is way undercooked, or it looks like it's way undercooked, but it tastes fine to you. Yum, yum sausage rolls. In fact, you eat everybody's sausage rolls who decided not to eat their sausage roll.
I mean, that was probably going to happen either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Definitely get 2 sausage rolls because I'm not touching mine.
So it
Or
sounds like
3.
Blisco gets 3 sausage rolls, maybe even 4.
Delicious.
Okay, make note of that in your notebook.
Yep. Yeah. After all of the sausage rolls are gone,
Okay.
Blisco starts writing in the notebook.
Okay, good.
I feel like maybe we should have said something to him,
To
to
Blisco.
Blisco, but also, I mean, if he didn't see it, I don't want to ruin his meal.
I don't think it makes a difference. This is the same stuff that we've been seeing while we've been here in Europe. It's like,
Some sort of strange corruption.
yeah. My theory is that it's either some sort of corruption that's been afflicting everyone, or this is just the way things are, and because we've been smashed into the uncanny, we can see it now.
I guess. Didn't we see like photographs of this stuff though?
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Your
So
yeah,
it's
your
not just-
nerds were able to photograph it, so
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
So it
and
does-
now that you are talking about it,
We've
as you look
seen-
around, you can see that there are several people in this cafe that have these black marks on either their hands, their necks, on their cheeks. One person, it looks like, has it right over their temple.
mhm.
So we've noticed this on various and sundry passersby, but we've never noticed it like on, for lack of a better word, the baddies, right? It's not something where like Herr Sontag all of a sudden you had the thing.
Oh, you've never met Sontag yet. No, you've not met Herr Sontag.
Susan Sontag? Okay.
No,
But like Herr Sattertag. That was
nope, you have
actually
not met Herr
sometimes.
Sattertag either. You've met Montag, Dienstag, Freitag,
Right.
Mittwoch, and I forgot what Wednesday was. You've met all the
Freilock.
days of the week. You've met all the
Versenstein.
days of the week except for the
Right.
weekends.
Her Frylock, her
Right.
Super Hulock.
So it was
Yeah,
Madam.
Mittwoch is Wednesday. Yeah, she was the one you met in Milan.
And she had the Satan
The
babies.
demons. Yeah,
Satan babies, yeah. Okay. But none of those
And-
people, and none of like the police who've been trying to kill us or whatever. We haven't just like seen something and said this guy's evil, and then he's just like covered with the ooze.
oh no, this appears to be like ordinary people.
Mhm.
Oh, I
And it's not really an ooze. It's more like
It's like
Like-
sores.
yeah, it's like a sore, like a chicken pock almost.
like a suppurating, disgusting.
Yeah,
egg
you
or
can
something.
see if you really wanted to get up close, you could probably see little tendrils, radiating out from the spot and then connecting to another spot
On their face.
on these people, on their faces, on their arms, presumably all over their bodies.
That sounds perversely fascinating to Doc, I think.
I'm sure it is.
Sure.
You get a little tingle off of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I kind of want to like dissect them, but I'm not going to.
That'd probably be frowned upon. I don't know if that's one of the
Well-
weird 14 laws that still exist in
Well, and I am
the Netherlands.
I am 2
I'm
years
sure
clean from
dissecting
unexpected
humans
dissections.
are probably
It's more of a faux pas than a law.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's definitely rude. Miss Manners
Yeah.
would frown.
Yeah.
Like the Dutch have a strong regard for life, so it is quite the faux pas to try to kill them.
I'm not trying to kill them. I'm trying to dissect. Okay, fine. Vivisect them. Is that better?
Language is important.
True, I suppose.
All right. Well, we've already learned something just from being here.
Yeah. So, are you guys just like sitting around casual eating, or are you doing other things?
Yeah,
while you're sitting
so-
there.
If they have the radio playing,
Oh, sure.
listen to the
There's
radio.
There's some weird European
If there
1940s
are,
music playing.
yeah, if there are
Some jazz thing, I'm sure.
if there are multiple
Teddy Bear's Picnic.
newspapers, yeah,
Yep.
we'll try to.
Yeah, there's a story on there. One story is like Nazis invade France. They are pushing towards Paris as quickly as possible, expected to be there within weeks. Resistance is high. That's one article that you see. Then another one, again, in the opinion section, you see the one that says, I, for one, hail our Nazi overlords. And and then the other one, that you notice just in passing is you notice that the prices of goods are starting to spike. What would normally be like a nickel for a loaf of bread, now you see some wartime scare is starting to go up to like 15 cents.
Ridiculous.
I know, right?
I'll also keep an eye out for smaller, weirder stories. And
what kind of stories are you looking for?
An Amsterdam woman is pregnant, but you won't believe with what?
I found in cave.
Yeah, we should be so lucky to have actual tabloids there.
European Sasquatch alive and well with his wife in Switzerland.
Right. Elvis is not dead. Also has not been born yet.
Actually, Elvis has been born at this time.
The Incredible Frog Boy is on the loose.
Served during World War II, didn't he?
Oh, that's true.
Or was it after?
He served in Vietnam.
Huh.
Elvis was like 20 in 1957, so he would have been born in like 1930 something.
Okay. All right. Now that we're squared up with the timeline, yeah, I'm looking for anything from like mysteriously missing people to
strange lights in the
folky,
sky.
Yeah, folksy, like, aha, looks like we've caught another sighting of the lake, whatever, frog boy, or whatever.
Okay. Sure enough,
weird stuff
on page 8, that's where all the weird stuff is. The little short stories where the burgeoning cub reporters are trying to cut their teeth. You see something about portions of a forest have been taken down. Clear cut, it looks like, but no machines have been used, so that's really weird. A couple of people have been affected by a strange malady where they seize up and then start screaming for some reason. Oh, you see this story. There's definitely a story about a Belgian reporter who traveled to Morocco to take on a gang of international opium smugglers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Morocco, eh?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it might have been very racist.
Probably not.
Where was the reporter? Where was the reporter from?
He's from Belgium.
Oh. Do they have a description of him?
It just there is a picture of him, and it's a young boy, youngish man, I should say. You should call him a boy. But he's wearing an overcoat, and he has this shock of reddish hair there, and he's kind of smiling.
Do we recognize him?
Oh yeah, you guys definitely recognize this guy.
This guy.
Yeah.
Well, good for him, I guess.
It's like he's off having his own adventures all the time that we're doing these things.
Well, as long as he's away from us, he's a little too nosy for my taste.
Mm-hmm. You do see something about. You do see something. Also in this weird section. These would be more like your tabloid stories. This section of the newspaper. So a lot of it is played off for laughs and for good humor. But you do see something about Stone Circle uncovered in Norway. And strange markings on it. People call it the rise of the new witch. It's sensationalized stuff. But that's really all you see in there.
Okay. In that case, guess we'll go to the train. Like, should we go check out and then just go to the train station and take the next train out? Or should we go to the train station, figure out what all's going up there, and then like check out and take a train?
Would there be anything gained by not checking out so they don't think we're leaving?
Only that we would be inconveniencing the hotel.
Oh, it's fine, sir. We've got plenty of room.
Okay, all right. Well, in that case, yeah, I guess we can grab our stuff and go. And let's just go to the train station and see what we find there.
So what, do you guys have your guns and knives on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Anything else that you guys have with you? Anything else that you guys are taking with you or have with you?
The mask, book.
Okay, mask
I
and
have
book.
my medicine bag,
Okay, anything else?
3 bars of bubble gum.
You taking your headdress? Does he still have that? Or did the
Yeah.
president take it?
No, President didn't take that.
Okay.
He
Yeah,
just
it's not
figured that, Tomb Raiders can keep the spoils.
Yeah, I'll keep it. It's in the back of my coat. I keep it in a hidden pocket.
Okay.
I don't know. It's actually probably, in fact, it is in my medicine bag.
Yeah, it folds up pretty nicely. Okay, so you head down to the train station. Sure enough, there is a greater police presence down at the train station. They are checking just about every other person's passport and their travel papers to make sure they are who they say they are. There are people that seem rather concerned for whatever reason. There's not a panic, but you can tell that people have a very heightened sense of anxiety as they are boarding trains, and the trains that they are boarding seem to be the ones heading out of town, south out of town,
Okay.
or wherever the docks are. They seem to be heading towards the docks
Dockwards.
or the countryside.
Let's see if there's a train to the town where we're going.
Oh, hello, sir. Where are you going?
Horn?
Oh, Horn. Yes, you're going to go see the flute, eh?
I'm sorry, the Fluyt?
Yes, the flute.
Is
the
that
boats.
There's a boat named Fluyt?
Sir, the Dutch built the most versatile and useful boats in the world as they explored. The flutes.
Oh,
Floats.
the flutes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a flute, still an active flute factory there in Horn. It's really the only business they have there.
Oh, then yeah, that's where we're going. I just didn't know that's what they were called.
Oh, understandable, I guess. American, yeah, definitely understandable.
Mhm.
Do you have your travel papers?
Yes, we are right now only set up for travel in Amsterdam, so we wanted to apply to see if we could go to Horn as well.
Ooh. Well, it is past at the 12 o'clock mark. It does take a long time for paperwork to get done in a day.
Is
I
this
don't know.
is this like somebody being like, "Oh no, the bureaucracy is difficult," or is this somebody being like,
But if Johann
yes.
von Money could assist,
Who wants
Right.
to roll an insight plus observation?
I got one.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to roll an insight plus
All right,
observation.
we're going to allow Doc to roll insight plus observation, and he gets 2 successes.
Two
Yeah, this
successes.
guy is obviously saying that there is some bureaucracy involved in getting the paperwork done, but the gears of industry require much grease.
So I would like to maybe just show him a bill and see if perhaps my associate Johann Vandermoney might help to speed the wheels of industry.
And how much? What's the numerical value of the Vander money?
Let's see. You said a loaf of bread was 50
15 cents.
15 cents?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a tenner. 10 Johann Vandermoonies.
Okay, 10 Johann Vandermoonies.
Do you think that would
He
be
does
enough?
see that, and his eyes do get kind of big, and that would certainly speed some of the process up, but it would still probably be a day before you could make it to your destination. Of course, there's another train leaving in 10 minutes. If there was other ways that you might think that we might be able to move this along?
What about his brother, Ilhan van der Mooney?
Is that
So
a 20? Is that a
I'm going to
20?
try 20 now. Yeah.
Okay. So you're bribing him with 30 Vandermonies.
30 van der
And
Mooney. Yeah.
he goes, there's 4 of you though.
Oh, I am sorry. You are correct. And I put out another 10 van der Moonies.
Okay. Yes. And he pulls out a sheet of paper, writes his name on it, signs it, dates it, stamps it. There you go, gentlemen. Have a good trip and enjoy the flutes.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
So there is definitely last train to Huron. All now boarding.
We leap aboard the train.
All right. You leap aboard the train, and about 45 minutes to an hour later, you pull into the small seaside town of Horn.
Sure.
When you get off the train, people seem to be in a panic.
A panic.
Like screaming or just like
No, not
fretting?
like screaming, but you see people that are just like mothers grabbing their kids and getting indoors. You see one man ushering his family into a car, and the car drives off, west as fast as the car can go. You see people who should be at work during the day who seem to be rushing home with much haste.
Do there seem to be any sirens or any obvious
You don't hear any sirens
alarm?
at the train station. No.
And there don't seem to be any like visible, like, I don't know, stukas over Disneyland or anything. Just
You're at a train station in Horn, a small fishing community, boat community. Lots of
Is there
nice little houses by the bay.
is there like ticket window?
Yeah, there's a ticket window.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello. I was wondering if you could give me directions to a hotel.
Oh, yes. There's a hotel about 2 blocks east of here.
Okay.
May I see your papers, please?
Yes, here you go.
Okay, very good. I see they're able to fill their paperwork out much faster in Amsterdam than we are able to do it here. Oh, very good, very good. And the nature of your business, Mr. And he pauses
Arbogast.
when he sees your name. Arbogast?
Mm-hmm.
Did I not... Are you related to John Arbogast?
I am. I'm his son.
Oh. Okay. I saw he got an award from Hitler.
Yes, he did do that.
Okay. Can I ask your business here in Horn?
Yes. What I am doing is I am trying to find worthwhile businesses out here in Europe that need investment, especially looking for new ventures. We're fundamentally an ironworks, so we're looking for things like ship manufacturing, building manufacturing.
You're here about the flutes.
Yes.
Okay, well, there's 2 factories. One is probably not for someone of your stature and your needs, but the other one is one of the older. Actually, the 2 companies like to argue that they've got the oldest flute on exhibit there, and that they've been working longer than anyone else, all the way back to the 1400. Blah, blah, blah,
Yep,
blah.
of
It's so
course.
tiresome. I got to hear it every single day at this place. Come see our flutes. No, our flutes are the best. No, come see our flutes. It's so
Mhm.
tiring.
No, I would imagine it would get very annoying.
Yes, very much so.
Well, if we can get directions to each of them.
Do you see that road?
Yeah.
You just follow it to the end.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Thank you.
Yes. Have a good day. Enjoy your trip. Enjoy the flute.
Bye. Thank you. How is flute spelled?
Fluyt. You
Okay.
can go look up the pictures of these, and yes, the flute ship was the ship that was used by the Dutch to conquer the world. Basically, it's a
Yeah.
3-mast ship, and it was in production from, I want to say, like the late 15th and throughout the 16th centuries.
Friggin' Dutch.
Yeah, I know, right?
Conquering places.
You don't suppose we're actually looking for a boat, do you?
I think we probably are. Especially since both of these places seem to are saying that they have the oldest one in existence. I think we need to check those out.
I concur.
Here's
Mhm.
hoping it's a model.
Okay.
I doubt we're that lucky.
A
We
model?
haven't been to date. A model.
Oh, you mean because then otherwise the item would be too big to carry.
Certainly. Like the
Well,
ones, my dad used to carve. He'd put them in bottles.
maybe it won't be the flute. It'll be in the flute, and it's just a translation hiccup.
Maybe it is literally a ship in a bottle.
I mean, if it is a ship, we'll figure out a way to get it. Let's go once again check into a hotel.
Oh, hello, sir.
Hello.
Welcome to Horn.
Thank you. Let me get, if you have it, 2 adjacent rooms.
No, sir, we have 2 rooms across the hallway from one another.
That's fine.
Good. Will you be staying long?
Right now it looks like we'll probably be here for 2 days.
And then the door bursts open as you say that, and a man rushes in, and he's looking around, and he sees the man behind the counter, and he runs over. Frederick, come here. And he whispers something into his ear, and he goes, oh, my. Okay, gentlemen, here are the keys to your room. Please enjoy your stay.
Okay. Everything all right?
Nothing to be alarmed about. We wouldn't want to inconvenience our guests. Everything is fine. Fine. I'm sure everything is fine.
Okay.
Yes, fine.
All right. We'll head to the room, and I'll be like, that sounded like 1 or 2 extra fines. So
I don't believe
Yeah.
that things are fine.
Yeah, these rooms are pretty tiny. There are 2 like single beds pushed up against the wall. This is upper floor, and so each of your rooms, the roof, the slope of the roof, is in the in the room itself. So you can sit up in bed, but you can't stand up next to the bed. You basically can stand upright down the middle of the room. There's a bathroom at the end of the hallway, but yeah, these are pretty small, cramped rooms.
let's gear up and go find or go to the first loot factory.
All right.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
want to hit both of these all together?
Yeah, let's do one and then the other.
All right.
Okay. So you guys walk down the main street in Horn. I don't know how you say it. Someone who is from Amsterdam. Please send us your lovely voice pronouncing the city of Hoorn. But yeah, it's pretty clear that, this is a community that is in a cape, in a bay, and that it's a perfect place for building ships and launching ships because just around the little horn there is the North Atlantic, and not too far away would be the Scandinavian countries, and yeah, it's definitely a quaint little community of very hardy people who are used to building ships. But as you get closer down towards where the ship factories are, you notice that there are more people that seem to be heading in the opposite direction very, very quickly. And as you approach the first um, boat manufacturer, you can definitely see out there that there's a model of the Fluyt ship painted on a sign that, and the date on it says 1500, and that would be the establishment date. And you can see it. It's called Sam and Sons Boats is the name of the establishment. And people at this point, by the time you get down to the building, you see people just fleeing as quickly as they can. You hear one woman screaming. One man comes out of the factory door, and you see he's grabbing his face and holding onto his face and kind of screaming, and he trips and he falls down, laying flat onto the ground. There's also, it looks like another person laying still in front of the two big doors to the boat factory.
Okay.
Does anyone seem to be responding to this? Is everyone panicking?
People are fleeing. At this point, people are fleeing and running and are scared. There are, these people that you've just recently seen seem to be the people either fleeing the boat factory or fleeing from businesses nearby. But these stragglers are the ones that are kind of last remaining people. There are two bodies lying face down in front of you.
Are they running away from the factory?
Are running away from the factory, yeah.
Okay.
I'm immediately going to check for life signs to see if these people have just
turn them over.
Do I have to turn them over in order to try and get a pulse?
Yeah.
Turn them over.
All right, you turn one of them over, and you just see
cause more injury.
Yeah, you see that this man has blood just running down from his eyes all over his face, and this look of shocked terror on his face. This man has died from some kind of severe mental surprise attack, fright, whatever it is. He has been clawing at his face and his eyes, and blood is all over his face. He is definitely dead.
I close his eyes.
You've got blood all over your hands.
Is the other one dead?
There's only one way to find out.
I'm going to check the other one to see if they're dead.
Yeah, identical.
I'm going to close their eyes.
Also blood all over you.
All right. I'm going to surreptitiously wipe the blood on the bloody parts of their shirts.
Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.